Hello traders, this is Tom Willis from Opteck, and this is a daily market review according to a fundamental analysis and technical analysis for the 13th of August 2013. And yesterday we had a situation when I said that today we're expecting to see a lot of potential because we've got a variety of announcements all day long. Now, we had an announcement on the German industry, and we can see that that was a good announcement for the German market. And in a second, I'll go over the DAX chart, and I'll show you that we've got a good potential for another trade for a call option coming up. Later on this day, we've got an announcement on the dollar itself. Right now, it's 106. 6 plus 1, and at 1:30 we've got an announcement on the US dollar that will definitely move the market a bit. And we've got another announcement later on the New Zealanders. As I said, it won't deliver a lot of liquidity, but it's a good potential for us as binary option traders. Let's go to the chart and see what we've got over there. So first of all, the DAX itself, as you saw on the news, indeed opened with a large gap up, and right now we're fluctuating with a downtrend movement. That's a great scenario according to our strategy, using the indication of the exhaustion level of the stochastic and the RSI way into the tradable call option area. So a suitable trend line is like that. That would be a suitable trend line for this corrective pattern. And as you can see, the current 15-minute indication is showing that indeed we've crossed the trend line, and we just need to wait for that specific 15-minute candle to close above the trend line so that we'll be able to take that for a call option. Now you've got trades for more than 1 hour on the DAX, and that would definitely be a good choice to trade for an uptrend. Let's go back to the Japanese yen currencies and see who's stronger and who's weaker at the moment in the market, so that we'll be able to focus on the... Oh, just 1 second. Let's go back to the indices. Correlated to the DAX is the CAC 40, which is the indication for the French economy. And we can see the same indication, an exhaustion level on the stochastic at the bottom, RSI is at the top, and we've got a nice corrective pattern. Again, just a trend line above this corrective pattern will indicate that the market indeed proceed beyond that, and we gotta wait for this candle to close so that we'll have the approval for the continuance of an uptrend potential. So another good trade is coming ahead, the CAC 40 and the DAX for a call option. Let's see what's going on with the Japanese yen currencies. The Japanese yen is indicating who's stronger and who's weaker. I'll range the currencies just quickly. I can see that the gold is losing strength from this morning, and it's very logical. The dollar is gaining strength in the market, and we can see that indeed we should have a good potential trades for a put option on the gold. We will check that in a second. So I can tell you that the weakest currencies at the moment is obviously the Japanese yen, which is expressing weakness on all the charts. The Japanese yen itself is pretty weak, and we can say that the weakest currencies in the market today are the Swiss franc, the Australian dollar, and the New Zealand. And the strongest one are the euro, pound, and the US dollar. Now, we've got two good potential trades over here, euro Japanese yen and US dollar Japanese yen. Let me take the trades right now, just 1 second. US dollar Japanese yen. I remind you, in 20 minutes, we're expecting to see an announcement for the US dollar. So in this case, in a second, I will take both trades, and we will proceed to see. You know what? Let's. I don't know why. Try the euro Japanese yen. It'll take a second. I think that my system is pretty exhausted because of the recording. We can see that all the currencies of the Japanese yen are presenting a good image for a potential for a call option. Now, I wouldn't trade the Australian dollar and the Swiss franc in front of the Japanese yen, because once the Japanese yen will express weakness, then we're expecting the stronger currencies to express larger and stronger and more confident movement. So the euro Japanese yen and the dollar Japanese yen are a good potential for a call option. That's what I'm trying to take right now. Let me try to refresh that. Euro Japanese yen and US dollar Japanese yen for a call option, and in a second I'll go further on. Oh, I see why. Okay, in a second I'll go further on into to watch all the other currencies and to see where we've got another potential. This is a good signal for us. Again, I'm taking that for 1 hour because I know that the liquidity at the moment is pretty low, and I'm investing right now 10k for a call option on the dollar Japanese yen and on the euro Japanese yen as well, a call option for 1 hour. Perfect. So we've got 2 trades in a row on the way. I'm expecting both currencies to gain strength in front of the Japanese yen. Let's proceed. I can tell you that not like yesterday. Obviously, we've got large amount of liquidity on some currencies, but we can see that the Australian dollar versus the New Zealand, which reflect approximately the same strength and weakness, are presenting a choppy overlapping movement sideways. The euro versus the Australian dollar is in a corrective pattern sideways as well. Australian dollar Japanese yen is on its way up, but again, the Australian dollar itself is pretty weak in the market, so I can't participate in that trade. And the Australian dollar versus the US dollar is not presenting a potential trade. Okay, let's proceed. Euro Japanese yen, we've talked about that. I took this trade already. It's on its way. Using our strategy, we can quickly go over a variety of assets and understand exactly whether we've got a potential or not. If you'd like to know a bit more about our strategy, you can join our session so that you'll be able to use that for your trades. Again, let's go and see what's going on with the gold and the silver. So looking at the larger structure, the gold and the silver are presenting a difficult image at the moment. We've got an impulse movement climbing higher, and we've got an ABC dropping down. Now that might be an ABC if we will proceed higher, and then we'll have a good potential for a call option. At the moment we're fluctuating around the same level because we're expecting to see an announcement, to hear an announcement regarding the dollar. That announcement will state whether the gold will drop down or will climb higher, and so will the silver. Now, specifically regarding the gold and the silver, we had an issue from Australia. One of the companies over there came into a debt issue, and because of that we saw that the market is reacting with higher rates on the silver and on the gold. Specifically on the silver, we can say that you can see this spike occurred because there is some sort of fear in the market that the amount of silver that will be delivered to the market will be lower in terms of supply and demand. So if we've got a potential for lower supply, the market is expressing that with higher purchase. Then we've got a spike on the silver. So at the moment, the movement that we're viewing on the gold and the silver is not reflecting the situation of the dollar in the market, but it's reflecting the situation of the silver and the gold according to the Australian frontier, Australian issues. But definitely the announcement on the dollar will affect the gold and the silver, no question about that. At the moment there's a potential for an uptrend, meaning a weaker dollar in the market, but I wouldn't pay attention to that at all because we're approaching a fluctuation level around this trend line. You can see very nicely that the market is bouncing on the trend line. Across below the trend line will begin a large movement lower on the gold, both on the gold and the silver, sorry. You can see that Indeed, we're fluctuating around the same level. The market is bouncing on this trend line. Across below with a lot of strength will continue lower and will change the course of the entire structure of the silver and the gold. So we're approaching a very difficult situation when we're expecting to see an announcement and what will be the effect on the chart. Let's proceed with analyzing other charts. As I said, looking at the indices, we've got the DAX and the CAC approaching a point when we're expecting them both to gain strength in the market. The Nikkei is not active at the moment. The dollar index is showing a potential for a downtrend, but again, it may change the course as an outcome of the announcement itself. The Dow Jones is again forming a structure of an impulse movement and a choppy overlapping movement, sideways corrective pattern. I'm expecting it to climb to this trend line and then start to drop down. So if you'd like to catch a good trade on the on the Dow Jones, you can go to a low time frame such as 5-minute chart and catch that movement for an upward until this rate, the 15.46 or something like that, approximately that area. It's a good trade for an uptrend until we'll get exhausted again, and then the market will drop down. That is my assumption according to the structure at the moment. Let's look at the dollar itself. If we've got a potential trade, the pound versus the US dollar is showing good presentation of an impulse movement dropping down, a choppy overlapping movement climbing up, a good corrective pattern. The stochastic is climbing up. The RSI is below the 50. It's in a good area at the moment. Once the market will cross this trend line, the RSI will give us the approval to participate in a put option potential, and that is indeed the case. So I do expect the market to get lower here. That will express stronger dollar in the market, and that is correlated with my perspective regarding the dollar for the long term. At the moment, we're still waiting for the market to express what the announcement itself and how the market reacts to that. But this specific plane structure in impulse movement down, choppy overlapping movement climbing up, a potential for a downtrend, and because of that we need to wait for the cross on the stochastic so that we'll be able to join this downtrend with the confidence that we need. Just 1 second, I saw something over there. Dollar versus the Canadian dollar. Another good potential for an uptrend over here. We've got another impulse movement climbing up, a choppy overlapping movement dropping down, a good potential for an uptrend. Again, the only thing that the market is waiting for is the approval from the announcement. Once the announcement will deliver enough confidence in the market, then we will see the dollar gaining strength. Again, it's a plan. It's some sort of a scenario that I'm waiting to see. If it will take form, then indeed we'll see this chart climbing higher, and we will have a good potential trade over here. I will close this session now. I want you to see all the potential trades. So it was a pretty short analysis, but I'm sure that you'll be able to catch some good moves that we're expecting to see on the market. All the best from here from Opteck, Tom Williams. All the best with your trades. Have a nice day, and bye-bye.